Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Mr. Controversy, and welcome to Coffee Shop Chatter. So, as always, gotta have that coffee, Colombian. I had to spice it up a little bit with all the stuff going on. You know, I had to, I had to throw a little something in there. So, I'm a 28-year plus Army veteran, retired. So, what I'm going to talk about is some of the things that's been going on with the whole protests at the school. So I've done the border stuff. I've covered a lot of different areas. A lot of it I try to give it from a military perspective, since my job is more of a tactical side. So I look at things from a technical also as far as capabilities, but more tactically of what's going on. So right here you have this is a student at Stanford. And if you don't know, that headband he's wearing is actually a Hamas headband from Palestine. So he's anti-Jewish. If he's wearing that, he's anti-Jewish. I don't care what anybody say. You can't code no other way. So he wasn't the only one. They actually had a couple other students they seen located on different campuses as well, but I think there was like three or four of them on Stanford, but they were spread out and they was all there on their phones. So I'm like, okay, are they coordinating something? We had the border issues. We had all these people come through unchecked because, you mind you, if they didn't have no type of ID, and they said a lot of them had no ID, nothing, and they was allowing them to come in. So basically, you can get them any type of name that you wanted, any country you wanted, and they let you come in. So even then, I was saying, okay, y'all are letting terrorists in because you're not vetting them. There was no way you can verify who they were, who they weren't. So I think that's something that's going on. My belief, this is just me, because we have a upcoming presidential election. I have a funny feeling we're gonna have some type of attack that's gonna come in, because now they're actually starting all these protests in Paris. So Paris are actually having it at their colleges now, are starting to have these protests. I'll say they're coordinated, and that's not even an assumption. I'm saying for a fact that they are being coordinated. But we're gonna go ahead and get into this video and see what they got.
A line of police officers holding back a group of about 100 anti-Israel protesters at Georgia State University yesterday afternoon. And as police respond to protests across the country, there is criticism from some quarters over the amount of force being used to clear out on-campus protest encampments, while in some cities, the police are refusing to take any action just yet.
They asked us to come back and engage in the operation again, and that's when I shut it down and said, I'm not doing that again. We absolutely aren't going to just go in and sweep out this peaceful protest just because they're occupying a space on your campus that you'd like to use for something else right now.
Let's bring in Ted Williams, Fox News contributor and defense attorney who previously worked as a homicide detective for the DC Metro Police. Ted, great to see you, and you and I have spent many hours this week together discussing law enforcement responses. And I want to look at one of those first of all, because it was a study in differences. Tuesday night at UCLA, one of the big incidents of this week across the entire country. We saw the riots taking place. That's That's actually the clearing out of the campus, I think. But yeah, this is so on Tuesday night, we saw anti Israel protesters clashing with pro Palestinian protesters. That's some of the violence there. And there wasn't a law enforcement person in sight for hours that night, Ted. And then the next night, Wednesday night, they did come into the early hours of Thursday morning, and the police completely dismantled that encampment led by the California Highway Patrol. What did you make of the way this bizarre situation played out over 2 nights in LA, Ted?
Hi, Jonathan. I got to tell you, we are involved in what I would define as an internal war in this country. There's always been a strained relationship between students and law enforcement. And when we looked at UCLA the other night there, when you and I were on pleading, begging for law enforcement to come into that area. And Jonathan, as you know, it was over 3 hours before law enforcement officers got involved in that area. Jonathan, there is something going on in this country that's bigger than what we are watching here on television with the students on these various campuses. I have to believe that we have, from international positions in this country, we've got sleeper cells here that are encouraging the violence that we are seeing in these demonstrations.
Ted, there's a lot of talk as well about, well, the various law enforcement agencies have to wait to be invited in. That might be true on a private university campus such as Columbia, where the NYPD were eventually invited in and did a pretty much textbook operation. On a public university campus like UCLA, I mean, if there is outright violence taking place, surely the police department has a duty, a sworn duty as law enforcement officers, just to get in there and stop people getting hurt.
Jonathan, you're absolutely right. When you're looking at public universities and you're looking where laws are being violated, law enforcement officers do not have to wait. They can go in immediately. I was wondering, I listened to the chief of police there in Denver saying that unless there's some violence, that he's not going in. Yes, we believe in peaceful demonstration in this country. You have a First Amendment right to peacefully demonstrate. But when those demonstrations get out of hand, like at UCLA there, the law enforcement should have gone in, and it should have gone in right away. That was a national embarrassment as far as I'm concerned.
So what is the line, Ted? When do they cross the line and your First Amendment rights disappear? Is it simply shouting at Jewish students, for instance? Is it harassing them and following them? Is it preventing them from walking across campus freely? Or is it actually when they physically attack them? Where is that line? And is it easy to draw that line, Ted?
Well, first of all, the line itself is not easy to draw. What you have to look at is if students are peacefully demonstrating, there's no violence, and for whatever they're saying, they have a First Amendment right to speak out.
So this is the problem I have. When you say there's no line, that's bullshit. It's so easy. The line should be you can't protest on political. When you're doing stuff like this, you cannot, not on campus. Go do it out in the street, walk up and down the street, protest all you want. But no, it can't be done on campus. Because like I said, you're impeding other students from doing work. And it's to a point now where they are just passing them. Literally, it was already reported. At certain schools, they're just passing them. Give them the grade. They're not coming to class, but they're going to pass them. So you giving them an incentive for not coming to class, for saying the hell with their education. I say fail them. You take this F, you come back next semester, and you retake the class. Every time you miss work, if there's tests and you do it, you get a 0. That's plain and simple. It ain't that hard. And the response time for the police, that's something else I don't understand. Let somebody get stopped and there's an incident, and watch how quick how many police cars show up. Or what I say I consider I can't, it's not even an overkill, an over presence of police cars for very, very small minors, and everyone has seen it. All you have seen it somewhere where it's something real small. One cop car is there, and next thing you know, five other six cop cars show up, and you're like, man, all these police cars for this? So y'all wasting our money? Y'all can be out there actually solving real crimes, and you're here for a traffic stop? 8 cop cars, 6 cop cars? But it took them hours to show up on campus, when they got issues and they saying, you know, it depends if they're impeding somebody. No, it shouldn't be allowed on the campus, period. Because like I said, schools don't write policies. They don't write laws. You fighting with the wrong people. Go to DC. I'll pay a couple of their plane tickets. They want to go to if they want to go to Israel and protest there. Make sure they wearing their little Hamas headbands too when they go there. No, you want to represent while you over there. Don't try to act like you tough here, but then you don't want to go over there where you should be going and take the fight to them.
But it's when they cross that line, like at Columbia the other night, when they went in and they went into Hamilton or that Hamilton building there, and they started destroying and started holding individuals hostage for some period of time. That is when it crossed the line. It crosses the line when there's actual violence. Intimidation of students should not happen on these campuses also. But again, Jonathan, there's some outside forces. There's a need for a complete investigation of what is taking place on these college campuses all over this country right now.
Ted, your analysis over this week with us as all of these events unfolded has been invaluable to our viewers and is once so again today. Ted Williams, thank you so much for being with us.
Anarchy on college campuses continuing through the weekend, with student activists pushing their pro-Hamas sentiments. And now Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary is sounding off with a word of caution for those agitators. O'Leary warning that student protesters are trashing their job chances, adding that when it comes to their futures, they are screwed. Shark Tank investor and O'Leary Ventures chair Kevin O'Leary is here with us now. Kevin, thanks for being here. Why are they screwed? Is it because, I mean, a lot of them are wearing masks, they're trying to hide their identity. Do you think that'll work?
It used to work back in the 60s and 70s because it was only recorded on 16mm film. Today, all of this video security cameras are at 1080p and 4K resolution, extremely high resolution that allows you to use AI protocols to identify people by the iris or just a partial exposure of the face. Do you ever wonder how they captured every single person that marched on the Hill and the insurgents? Now, whether they arrested or not didn't matter, but every single individual on that hill eventually was identified using this AI technology today. It's very available, it's inexpensive, and I use it as an employer every time we have a candidate in the executive suite. We do a deep dive and we find out where you came. We're looking for what you say on your resume matching your reality of your life. And obviously, I don't care what side you're on in the protest, but if you're fighting police, burning flags, wrecking properties, breaking through windows, I'm going to know that. And so is the government, so is everybody else. So think about that. That's all I'm telling these young people. Think about it, because it's not free.
Do you think they're thinking about it, or do they think this will pay off? I mean, everything in their incentive structure, Kevin, in academia says become an activist, agitate. That's what their universities are telling them to do. Wouldn't they want their best opportunities in mind?
Well, universities and the concept of tenure for professors is allowing people with different thoughts and ideas to flourish. That's what our institutions are all about. But I'm just going back to a simple fact. When you break the law of the land, you become a criminal. And if you think by putting a mask on or wearing sunglasses is going to protect you, it doesn't. That's all I'm telling you. And so you know, I think when you're in your 20s, you're very passionate, and I get that, and everybody goes through that process. But think about it. Think about what happens next. In 10 years, why didn't you get that job? Why didn't you get on that board? Why can't you get a loan? I'm telling you why right now. Because I saw you do it, and you lied to me on your resume that you never broke the law. Well, you did. Whether you get caught or not doesn't matter to me as an employer. That's why you should really think this through. And I teach this in colleges now. The world has changed because we have AI and we've got high resolution imagery, and it's being captured every day, and it goes on the dark web within 48 hours. I can see it anytime I want.
You're right, it is a totally different game. And why wouldn't you, if you're a corporation, cover your back by getting all the information you can? Kevin O'Leary, thank you for your time.
Take care.
I'm Steve Ducey.
So, you heard from Kevin. You heard from Kevin O'Leary. So, I'm gonna just kind of educate some people in case you don't know, you don't pay attention. So, like he was saying with AI is the big thing. If if you tech savvy, if you're a programmer, certain things like that, I would recommend you getting into AI. That's kind of what I'm actually doing cybersecurity, and then I plan on jumping into AI right after that. So what it is a lot of stores, Walmart, and you probably seen it when you walk down certain aisles, they have a screen up there, and it goes off. So that was the initial testing, which a lot of people know, for facial recognition. When you check out, when they got those cameras up there, everybody think it's there for, yes, it's there to help with stealing and everything else. But what they can actually do is because they get in your retinal data, they get in your facial, so, and it's fast. It's literally getting the points on your face, so once it captures your actual face, they could then upload your image into a database. So now you happen to do something like these clowns out here with these masks, it doesn't matter because all they need is a picture of your face, put it into the computer, into the database, and well, in the computer, but the database already has your image, everything in there, and it's gonna pick you out, show you with no mask. It's gonna show you, hey, it's this person. So I don't know why they wearing masks. That's when they see them wearing masks. I'm like, do y'all not understand how AI works? How facial recognition works? I mean, we've used certain types of things where we scan people's faces, military wise, for certain things, and load you up in the database. That same thing they use at the border. Once they get you down there, they can literally just hold that camera up to your face, and it will pull from the database and tell them exactly who you are. Tell you whether or not you've been in the country before, your name, if you ever been arrested, or your data will be connected to that. And they don't know. So, like you said, they're screwing themselves later in life. Because yeah, you can get a job at Burger King, McDonald's, some fast food restaurant, some department store, whatever. But the degrees that they're going to school for, some of these jokers actually in law schools. You think some law firm is going to hire you? You out there tearing up stuff, setting up what I call bivouacs in the middle of college, in the middle of colleges, the campus, harassing students. You wearing a Hamas headband, which is a terrorist group. It's like, how stupid can you be? And this is our new generation. That's why I say I don't know where this transition happened. I'm a Gen Xer. I can speak for hours. Like we've been through hell. I would say we are battle tested and hardened. We didn't ride bikes with helmets and elbow pads, knee pads. We got scuffed up. We was allowed to get ourselves hurt. Get hurt and everything else. We got in fights with our friends, and you made up, shook hands, whatever. After that, or whether or not you became friends, but you actually got in the fight. A lot of these kids never been punched in the face a day in their life. Never had a fight, no type of altercation. So they don't know how to handle any type of altercation. But I want to know what you think. What you think they should do with students wearing, terroristic headbands, garb, any type of garb, your headbands, any type of paraphernalia. What do you think they should do with those folks? What you think they should do with these students harassing those students? You know, the ones that took people hostage. Do you think they need to start holding them in jail, or instead of just letting them out? But it doesn't matter because someone's been paying their bonds anyway, which is strange. Another strange thing. So, like I say, get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. You already know I do entertain comments. YouTube will filter some of your stuff, so you gotta watch how you word stuff, what you say in the comments, because they will infringe on your rights to speak the way you feel you should be able to speak. Like I said, I'll never get offended by anything until you start doing the racist stuff. I don't play the racist game stuff. That I don't play that. But I don't have issues with people saying what they gotta say because, like I say, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. So that's it, and I'll see you guys around.